everyone, I'm James Otter of Otter Surfboards, where we design and make wooden surfboards here in Cornwall. And I'm going to show you how we turn these into one of these. Welcome to part 2 of how we make our wooden surfboards. In part 1, you saw us putting the frame together, and the next thing we need to do is glue this down onto our bottom skin. We've got a separate video to show you exactly how we make our skins, and this one is made out of cedar with a single strip of poplar that runs down the middle of it. We've sanded it to 4mm thick, which we do the bottom of all of our skins, and the inside has been coated with a layer of resin, just so that if the board ever takes on any water over its lifetime, the skin doesn't absorb too much of it and it's easy enough to repair. To get our frame glued onto our bottom skin, we need to use our rocker table again, and this follows the exact curve from nose to tail of our board to make sure that as we build it, it follows the correct shape. And as you can see, I've put these cross members across here, and I call them spars while I'm talking about them, and those are going to help us get the right clamping pressure on the frame as we glue it down. But the first thing I want to do is get some foam on here that gives us a nice even pressure on the underside of the skin. So we've got some strips of upholstery foam here. That's everything in place. I don't know exactly where this frame needs to go, so I'm going to get it pinched down in place and mark out every single space of where every single rib is and where the stringer is, so that I know where to apply the glue and where we need to fix it down to. As you can see, there's a little bit of play in how far forwards and backwards I can go, so I'm going to try and go fairly close to the middle so that we don't end up with any problems at either end. And the first thing to do is to get the centre stringer following that central pale strip that we had running down our skin. And in order to pinch it down, I've got these pieces of wood that are going to go over the top of our frame. I'm going to use some clamps just to pinch them at the sides to hold it in place. I'm going to work my way along, making sure I'm happy that that stringer follows that centre line nice and neatly. Alright, and once I'm happy with where that is, I need to start marking out. I'm going to use a square and a pencil and mark each rib individually on both sides to make sure that where we apply the glue is in the right place, because we're going to be putting the glue on the skin and then bringing the frame back on. Now I've marked out where all of those ribs are, I've taken the clamps off and I'm going to get the frame out of the way. And I like to just double check that all of my lines are nice and perpendicular to where the stringer needs to run to make sure those ribs are going to end up in exactly the right place. And then I can start mixing up some glue. The glue we use to fix our frame down onto our bottom skin is an epoxy resin. So I've got the resin and the hardener that need mixing together. And then I'm going to mix in some sawdust, which thickens it up and makes it a really nice consistency, and a really strong glue, which is ideal for what we need it for. Now I've mixed the resin, I've put it into a piping bag to make it easy to spread out exactly where we need it, and then I can get the frame glued down. So I've now pinched them all in place. I just want to go back over and check I'm happy with where every single piece is. And then I'm going to tighten up all of those clamps nicely to make sure that frame is well and truly fixed in the right place and well down onto that bottom skin. Now I'm happy with where the frame is and the pressure from all of those clamps, that it's holding that frame down everywhere we want it. I'm going to go along and make sure that all the glue that's been pushed out from the glue joint is filleted up the side of the frame to give us a really strong bond. With that frame now being glued down to the bottom skin, I'm going to leave it overnight while the resin cures and goes nice and hard for us. And then this board will be ready for us to start building up the rail strips, which you'll be able to see in our next video. If you've enjoyed this, please like and subscribe below. And if you want to find out more about us, our custom wooden surfboards, or our 5-day make your own workshop courses where you can come and join us to make your own surfboard, you can find out more about that at ottersurfboards.co.uk. Thanks for watching.